Well, Orlando may be the happiest place on earth, but the Dodgers are looking to ruin baseball. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Tuesday here on Dodgers Latest. So happy that you're part of your community with us here. You can always hit me up right there on X and on Instagram at JRod Show. And of course, love that you're part of it all here on our YouTube channel, Dodgers Latest. Subscribe, share, like. Hit the thumbs up button. The algorithm loves it. Share it with your friends. Lots to get to. The winter meetings are in full throat in Orlando, and we've got our first full-blown rumor report. And yeah, it involves that man, Tarik Skubal. The Dodgers, if you believe the reports are out there, are actively working on a deal to get the back-to-back American League Cy Young Award winner into a trade and over to the Dodgers. Skubal, of course, is in the final year of his contract, and we had reported before that the Tigers and Skubal were about $250 million apart in a new contract. So the Tigers are one of these situations of, do you play it out with him? Hope he doesn't get hurt. Hope you can make one last run and then you lose him for nothing. Do you trade him at the All-Star break, or do you have somebody blow you out of the water and make a deal that you have to take? And for the Tigers, it's a sticky situation because, I kind of look at it a little bit like the Ohtani situation. They're obviously not the same kind of player, but for Skubal, the Angels were terrible when Ohtani was there. So trading him, it didn't make any sense not to trade him, and that's why people shake they scratch their heads and they wonder what happened. Eyebrow goes up with the Angels not trading Ohtani and instead just letting him walk for nothing to the Dodgers. Well, the Tigers have made the playoffs back-to-back years. They are a perennial, for now, a playoff contender in the American League. So it could be one of those that maybe they want to start the season, see how they do, and if they fall off the rails, then you trade them. But from what we're hearing, the Dodgers and Tigers are actively working on a mega trade that would bring Skubal to Los Angeles. And here's the difference of what I've been hearing. It would be just mega top prospects for the Dodgers. It would not involve Tyler Glasnow. And it kind of makes sense now because, again, Glasnow's under contract, and he could step in nicely as a number one, number two, number three starter for the Tigers. But if you're trying to get out from underneath a big contract, you don't want to be committed to anything. Glasnow's owed, at least $86 million over the next 3 years, possibly $90 million if the third-year option is picked up on Glasnow. So the point is, if you're trying to get out from underneath a big salary, maybe you don't trade for Glasnow. Instead, it's all the big Dodger prospects that we've talked about. Zaire, Jackson Ferris, all the big guys. I haven't heard any major league prospects. Maybe a Dalton Rushing is in that mix, but we do know that the Dodgers and Tigers are actively looking and actively dealing and talking about making this trade that would bring Skubal to Los Angeles. And man, haters are going to hate. Can you imagine what that would do? That would bring down the house in Orlando if the Dodgers and Tigers can pull this trade off. Stay tuned for that. Now, Dave Roberts had a press conference, and they talked about a lot of things, and one of them was the other Dodgers superstar, and that's Shohei Ohtani, and basically about him coming back as a starter, as a full season. Shohei, of course, got into 14 starts as a starter during the regular season, ended up pitching 47 innings, and then also ended up making 4 starts in the postseason, 20 innings. So it was a total of 18 starts for Ohtani and 67 innings if you count the playoffs. Obviously, they ramped him up very slowly to try to get him ready, and it worked. Obviously, he pitched that gem in the clincher in Game 4 of the NLCS where he struck out 10 batters and hit 3 home runs on his way to winning the NLCS MVP. But the approach is this. When you look at the Dodgers' schedule, in April and in May, the season actually starts the last weekend of March. They have a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. That's how the season starts in LA. Then they're off Sunday. And then the Guardians come to town for a 3-game series. But if you look at the Thursday games in April and May, there are 9 Thursday dates in April and May. And the Dodgers only have a game on 2 of those 2 of those 9 Thursday games. So it feels like what the Dodgers are going to do, there's no need right away to have guys in a 5-man rotation. We know that the Japanese players like Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, they're used to starting once a week, not every fifth day, once a week in Japan. Yamamoto's had a lot of success during the regular season starting on 1 week rest, not 5 days. So the fact that there's 9 Thursdays in April and in May, and the Dodgers only have a game in 2 of those 9 dates, they're traveling, so it's not a full-blown day out, but there's no actual game. I think the Dodgers are going to use those Thursdays kind of like as a 5th, 6th starter. Get guys stretched out a little bit. Guys don't have to pitch every 5th day. And that goes just for everybody, for Yamamoto, for Snell, for Glasnow if he's still around, whoever's the 5th starter, Sasaki, Emmett Sheehan, et cetera, et cetera. So I think using that Thursday off day, again, 7 of the 9 Thursdays are off days for the Dodgers in April and May, I think will lend to a very conservative approach with Ohtani and the rest of the pitching staff as we end up ramping it up. And then when we get into June, July, August, and the tall grass of the season, then the guys won't have been burned out from starting all those games early on in the season. Now, another topic of conversation was Teoscar Hernandez. We have talked about him being traded. We have talked about him moving to left field. Well, the Dodgers have said for now, he's part of the team. There is no plan for now to trade Teoscar Hernandez. Now, there was an admission of they'd like to move Teoscar over to left field, and I think that's no secret. That's no insult. That's another jab at Teoscar Hernandez. I think, the question is, how does he get to left field and who plays right field? Is it a situation where do you sign a Cody Bellinger? Do you sign a Kyle Tucker? That's an easy move for Teoscar to go to left field. Now, if you make a trade and you get a Stephen Kwan or a Jarren Duran, what does that move? Do you put Duran in right field? And again, people are kind of playing out of position a little bit. I would almost want Jarren Duran, who's a left fielder, I would almost want him in right field as opposed to Teoscar, and put Teoscar out in left field. So for now, narratives are narratives until they're not, right? For now, the Dodgers have said they have no plans on trading Teoscar, but it's like anything. Somebody calls you and blows you out of the water, you're going to listen, right? But there is a definite trend. There is a definite movement within the organization to get Teoscar Hernandez out of right field and move him over to left field. We always want you to be part of the show. That's the best part. I love interacting with you guys. I read every comment. I try to respond to everyone. And we've already got a Scooble comment, obviously, with the Dodgers having that wild rumor that's flying all over Orlando that the Dodgers are in the process of basically consummating this deal to get Scooble for a boatload of prospects. And Scooble would really turn MLB upside down against Big Blue. Just hope we don't lose too many assets that prevents us from making other moves to fill voids in the pen, maybe a Luke Weaver outfield and utility man. Yeah, it almost feels like these moves, everything that I've been hearing about the Scooble trade, the possible Scooble trade, it's not going to really impact the major league roster. You're going to lose the big guys. You're going to lose the Jackson Ferris, Zaire Hope. You're going to lose those guys. But again, Scooble, it's a 1-year deal. As I've always said, prospects are cool, parades are cooler. And the Dodgers have had that taste. Back-to-back World Series champions. You add Tarik Skubal. Oh my goodness, can you imagine what that rotation would look like right at the top? Again, the Dodgers love to stockpile starting pitching. They've seen it. They've experienced it. You need, I think, 9-10 starters through the course of a season to get through it all. And then you rest guys unofficially. You rest guys so that way they're ready to go in October. I think that was part of the big reason why the Dodgers did so well in October is that the bulk of those guys were rested because they were hurt all year and they were ready to go. But I'll tell you what, if they can get Skubal, oh my God, you got to do it, right? You got to do it. And I know it's a 1-year deal. And he's looking at a truckload of money, and he's a pitcher, but he's young, he's left-handed, fireballer. I think the time is now. I mean, we sat through too many years of Frank McCourt and getting, losing playoff series and not winning a playoff game for nearly a generation. I think Dodgers are in their moment. Time to ride this out and win another championship and stockpile them as many as you can. So I say let's go for it if the opportunity exists. And we always like to thank you for being part of it. Remember, you can hit me up on X and Instagram at JRodShow. We got all the latest for you as these things are starting to move fast in Orlando with these wild rumors. I'm Jim Rodriguez. To Scooble or to not to Scooble? That is the question. And it's always time for Dodger baseball.